And folks, welcome to another edition of Steady Droppin Dimes. A little bit later, we were trying to wait on DG, but I know what happened. See, you know what? I should have stood on the table last week. My take on Drew Allar. I should have, Daniel. I was feeling it. I did not say that Drew Allar wasn't like that.
Yes, you did.
DG was like, nah, man. They just say, man, Drew Allar is way better than Riley Leonard. He does so much better than Riley Leonard. I was like, nah, man, I don't think the disparity is really that great. You know, Drew Allar is more hype than he is production. Same thing with his coach. Like, man, he's just not like that.
Right.
You know? Penn State's just not like that. I mean, I did concede because I thought they had more talent. I think James Franklin and the company, they're not going to screw it up that much. You know, James Franklin is going to James Franklin, but because Notre Dame just doesn't have that much talent. But Drew Allar's not like that.
No.
But DG was like, nah, man, nah. Drew Allar is way more talented. Well, we got in the game. I said, man, I should have stood on the table. I should have stood on the table. I know DG had played quarterback. I know he's one of the most talented guys I've ever seen come out of the state of Michigan. But he was wrong about this. And DG didn't show up. He didn't show up today. I'm just thinking that he just didn't want to show up and face the music, Daniel. That's what I'm
thinking. Hey, he's rarely wrong, right? I like to give him his credit. He's normally pretty good with his predictions and being first, right? But he was wrong this time. You got standing the fire. Hey, where you at, DG? We waiting for you.
He didn't show up at all. And man, and look, I should show you the text. He texted me during the game, like my man Steve Angeli got in the game because old boy got not Drew Allar, but Riley Leonard gets knocked out of the game. Steve Angeli comes in the game and drives him right down the field. They kick the field goal. And he said, man, look how it looks when an actual passing quarterback, a quarterback who can actually throw the ball, gets in the game. Right? Text me during the game. It's like, oh, okay, here's DG. He's getting his thing off, right? And I ain't hearing from DG at all the second half of that game. I just crickets.
I got a question for you. So is we got to come up with a category. You created this category. I think we need to name it the puckerer. Guys who are subject to pucker. And I think those Penn State guys might belong in that category.
Hey, man, I said I will never do that again. From now on, folks, on this show especially, even if I'm wrong, I'm gonna stand on the damn man. It's 100% takes. They could be wrong, but it's gonna be 100% takes. Hard in the paint takes. From this point on, never again will you see flimsy and flaccid. It's gonna be 100% hard in the paint takes.
It won't be supple.
Nothing soft.
nothing supple.
Man, nothing supple. DG had us up here supple, man. He had us up in here supple last week talking about Drew Allar. I knew. You could just tell. That he does not have it. That guy, as talented as he is physically, will never lead a team to the promised land. Listen to what I say about Drew Allar. Will never lead a team to the promised land.
No, I agree with you.
You can just tell about certain guys. They keep trying to make him JJ. JJ, he is not.
Yeah, I just remember when we played them, these last couple of years before, he never looked like, the guy that they were saying that they said he was. And now he's it's his time now, and it's the same thing. So at some point, you just got to call a spade, right, Sam?
Yeah, man. So I don't know if DG going to show up. He might show up for 5 minutes. I don't know, but we tried to wait on him. We tried to wait on him, but we had to start the show. Listen, folks. Steady Droppin Dimes has a new sponsor for the winter season. I am proud. Look at who just showed up. Look at who just showed up.
Yeah, it's me. What's so funny about that? I don't know what's so funny about that, but
all right, let me talk about the sponsor real quick. I am proud to introduce our new sponsor for the winter campaign, the Ann Arbor Sports Commission. And folks, when you talk about organizations that are about the community, deeply rooted in the community and invested in not only bringing great sporting events to the community, investing in the community, and bringing you and great ideas and events and organizations to the community that represent, the kind of initiatives, the growth and vision that a lot of us are about. The Ann Arbor Sports Commission represents all of those things. So, case in point, a great event that they're going to be hosting coming up in the month of February. We're going to be telling you about it here a little bit later on this month. We're going to be having the director of the Ann Arbor Sports Commission, Megan Hughes, on to tell you about it as part of their ongoing vision and mission. The Ann Arbor Sports Commission is going to host the second annual Washtenaw County Celebration of Girls and Women in Sports Conference in February. And so we're going to have them on to talk about it. And when we have Megan on to talk about that, we're going to be telling you about so many other events that are going to be coming to Ann Arbor. You think when we talk about Ann Arbor, it's just Michigan football or even Eastern Michigan football and Eastern Michigan sports and Michigan football and Michigan sports. So many other events come to Ann Arbor, grassroots events. Daniel Horton, for instance, has a grassroots organization. There are grassroots basketball events, grassroots soccer events that come to town. So events like that come through Ann Arbor, and the Ann Arbor Sports Commission helps organize those type of events. So event operations, volunteer outreach, venue recommendations, hotel coordination, PR and marketing support, on-site assistance, athlete experience services, all of those things. The Ann Arbor Sports Commission helps with all of that. And they provide complimentary services on all of those fronts. So a great service that they provide for this community, the athletes that are in it, the people that are in this community, and the organizations that are wanting to bring sports to this community for the citizens in it and the citizens around it that want to come to this community as well. So going to be telling you about all the great events, some of the events that we might go to, as well as some of the events that you might want to go to also. So again, a lot of excitement coming to Ann Arbor throughout the season. We're going to be telling you more about it and more about the Ann Arbor Sports Commission, our great sponsor, that we're going to be telling you more about in the weeks and months to come. So DG, welcome, man. How you doing?
I don't like that.
You don't like what?
What you trying to be so friendly for?
I'm not trying to be friendly. I was just telling them never again will I come with supple takes like, oh man, you might be okay with your Drew Allar take. I should have been like, you wrong, DG. You wrong about Drew Allar.
Yeah, hey.
You're so wrong.
There are words you can't use for what happened on that game, but he was garbage, boy. Oh my goodness. I could not believe that. I was so disappointed. Like, it was right there for the taking. Notre Dame wanted to give it to him. And I'm just like, what is he doing? And then it's like, okay, bet you're going to get in overtime and then you're going to turn it on, which I respect, right? Sometimes you don't play a great game. Patrick Mahomes do it all the time. You don't play a great game, but when it's winning time, you get it popping. And inexplicably falling back, getting hit, Coach Borges said all the time, the one of the biggest causes of interceptions is desperately avoiding a sack. The game's on the line. If you do nothing here, you go into overtime, you get a chance to win. If you turn the ball over, you're going to lose. And he just threw the ball into the middle late. That's the second thing you don't do. You don't desperately avoid a sack, and then you definitely ain't throwing in the middle late, especially at that time of the game. And I was so wrong. Actually, I wasn't that wrong. Riley Leonard was not that good. he's very not good. I can tell you that for a fact. Allar would be better. And remember, I did say that. I said, I'm not saying Allar is great. I'm just saying he's much better than Riley Leonard. No. And Riley Leonard, I don't know what he got about him. Obviously, people be trying to say he like a pro, and that's not true. That's not true. However, there is something about him where he's not a great runner, but somehow he finds a way to get done as a runner. He obviously is not a very good thrower because you see what they do. They try to run the ball as much as possible. And they put the other kid in. And what did they do? I texted you, sir. I said, what did they go do as soon as they put him in? They start chucking. I'm like, oh my God, they have all these good players. But they owe him, right? Because he's their guy. And so once he's healthy, they got to put him back in. I'm like, dang, that sucks. Penn State should be able to win this now. Wrong. Because Drew Allar is going to throw the ball into the middle of the field, falling down, and then look around like deer in the headlights. Like, did that just happen? Yeah, that just happened. And I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But Riley Leonard, he has something about him. He even, like, the running kind of led him into making a few throws in the game. Right now, guys were open, but he's missed those during the year, right? And he made some throws. It was super impressive. I don't know if he can repeat it against Ohio State. I hope he can. If he can be that, if he can be what he was against Penn State, I think they have a real shot because their defense is good. They can create a lot of the same issues that Michigan did. But Drew Allar was disappointing. I like Drew Allar. That was disappointing, man.
Hey, man. I
like him as a pretty good player, and they should have won the national championship this year, probably.
Hey, man, that dude has done that same act in every game.
Man.
You watch him in the game against when they play SMU. They up against SMU. He didn't do anything to contribute to their first half lead. Those were defensive touchdowns they scored. You look at him in that game, their first half lead. I mean, they got that first half lead running the football. He hadn't done anything. Yeah. You talk about the interception at the end. He got bailed out. He had thrown an interception in the end zone that the refs took off the board with a BS PI call that he was gifted.
You know, Sam,
come on, man.
In my defense, I've fallen victim to a lot of the same things everybody else is falling victim to. He is about as talented as it comes when you just roll the ball out there and ain't no defense, ain't no pressure, ain't no nothing. I'm talking about arm angles. He even can move a little bit, big than a mug. You know, it's just pretty. And I let that confuse me. It won't happen again. I can tell you that. Won't happen again. I couldn't believe it. I'm just like, you have all this talent and plus a great run game, right? You got your running back that was Notre Dame's running back whose knee was all busted up, who was playing really, really good. I didn't think he's going to be able to do that. But you got these talented running backs, and then we didn't even talk about he missed a throw for a touchdown that the game would be over. He wouldn't even been able to throw that interception. Remember when they were down, they had to settle for a field goal. He throws it behind him, and he's wide open. Now, should the guy catch it? Of course. Yes, you catch it. But he's wide open, and he's a running back. Throw the ball so he can catch it. And I'm just like, I was done with him then. I ain't text you. I was done with him right there. After he missed that flat route for a touchdown, I sold all my stuff on Drew Allar. And then he did, what he did later in the game. So it was sad. It was sad to see, but maybe he just had a bad game. But then you go back and you look and you say, well, no, he's been doing it all year. And they haven't really played nobody, so he hasn't been able to be a glaring thing. A lot of people don't like Penn State because they always find themselves top 10 in the country, and somehow they ain't did nothing. And they did it again this year. So
yeah, man. He has the die has been cast. Some guys have been affected so much mentally that I don't know if you can fix them. I don't.
You know the one thing I will say? It wasn't Franklin this time. It was Drew Allar. It wasn't Franklin this time. He didn't do nothing. I mean, obviously, there's always stuff you can do better. But there was no glaring thing. Like, usually there's a glaring thing. There was no – he was on the sideline looking like, What do you want me? What? He looked like Tyrese. What more do you want? And I felt for him. I'm like, come on, man. James Franklin did all he could. This was his time. He would have got a chance, and Drew Allar stole that opportunity from him.
Yeah, I said the same thing about the interception at the end of the game. I can't remember who. Someone disagreed with me. I said the one that he threw at the end of the game was like, come on. You can't blame.
There's no chance you can do that. I can see if you lose and you trying to drive down, right? The game's tied.
Right.
What are you doing? What are you doing? It's irresponsible is what it is. It was an irresponsible decision.
But Riley Leonard, man, the throw he made to my man Aeneas Williams, the running back on that drive after the half, seemed to ignite him. The one interception he threw to what's the defensive end on the edge dropper, I can't. That was just a great play.
Yeah.
That was just a great play. I can't blame him for that.
I mean, you could blame him, but it was a great play.
ADG, it's like the perfect formula for them to win a national championship, though, right? We know Ohio State struggles with teams that can run the football, play defense, and their quarterback can't throw.
Hold on, time out now. But he is. I'll take Riley Leonard 12 times over this year. if we had Riley Leonard, we might have a shot now. Especially if he could be even close to what he was in that game. Yeah. But like you said, I think that they are uniquely set up. Obviously, Ohio State, much better team, all those different things. Mm-hmm. But I think the way Freeman has built that team, he's built it similar to the way Michigan has built their team. Now, obviously, they thought they would get a lot more out of Riley Leonard as a passer, and that didn't happen. And the way he's been able to pivot has been very impressive. Mm-hmm. And he's pivoted right into the formula, like Daniel just said, that beats Ohio State, period. The formula that beats Ohio State, and we see it as evidence because of Michigan, and play defense, run the football, and have your team identity be toughness. Yep. Because if that's your identity, and Lou Holtz used to coach your team, now there's something to prove. And that something is that my team is tough. And if I have to prove my team is tough, that means I'm not using my weapons. And if I'm not using my weapons, I am not the best version of myself. And if I'm not the best version of myself, if I'm Ohio State, I'm going to lose the national championship, all because of the pride of someone proving that they're tough.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy how it comes full circle, right? He made that comment about Lou Holtz last year.
Right. Hey, man, that's why it'd be poetic justice.
Yeah.
Marcus Freeman, former Buckeye. If he could beat the Buckeyes. Al Washington.
Probably going to get his job.
Yeah, fire this boy Al Washington. Wouldn't it be right if he come back and beat Ryan Day? And then Lou Holtz. Mm-hmm. Lou Holtz, he called my guys.
He won't be hard to find Monday.
Come on, man. If they able to come out and beat up on the Buckeyes, you got to dictate this fight. Yeah. You got to dictate this fight. And Marcus Freeman is smart enough, really, really bright dude, smart enough to go in here and understand you got to fight this. You got to fight this fight on your terms. Mm-hmm. Don't let them dictate this fight. And Texas had the right formula, man. They couldn't make the plays in the key moments.
Yeah.
So
as much as I think Quinn Ewers is a good player, he don't have what Riley Leonard has, and that's just the ability to be a gamer. Yeah. However you get it done, whichever way. Okay, I'm not a good thrower. I need to make a throw. I'll make it. I'm not that great of a runner. I need to make a run. I'm going to dive and flip over a dude to get a first. You know what I mean? Like some people just have that innate ability when there's something going down and a play needs to be made. They have the ability to make it. Now, are they going to pull a team along? Absolutely not. Riley Leonard can't be on an average team and get them to this point. However, he can be on a really good team and make the necessary plays when they need to be made. And Quinn Ewers just wasn't able to do it. But the formula has been put out there by two separate teams, Texas and Michigan. And Notre Dame has a very good study guide, if you will, to get this done. And like you said, poetic justice. Marcus Freeman, former Ohio State, Ohio State's coach, talking crazy about Lou Holtz, a Notre Dame legend, firing Al Washington, who's boys with Marcus Freeman. I mean, I think it's everything you want. All the glitz and glamour versus those golden domers. It's gonna be scary. It's gonna be scary. Ohio State gotta win this. They gotta win this.
Hey, Notre Dame has a real shot.
Oh, 100%. I think they got more than a shot.
Yeah, people they're not giving them any shot. You talk to anybody but us, but Michigan people. And Notre Dame folks, of course, but Michigan people and Notre Dame people are the only people giving them a shot in this game. Everybody else said,
and Notre Dame is nothing but a Catholic version of us. That's all it is. Right? It's Catholic Michigan at this point. You know what I mean? So I understand why people aren't giving them a chance, because they look at the quarterback, they say, hey, this guy's not gonna make a whole bunch of plays. There's nothing really special about him. But when you really look, he's making the plays when he needs to make them, and that's all you need. And on defense, obviously they're talented and all those types of things. But Michigan people can understand it because we watched our team, which was not a good team, right? Even though we played so well down the stretch defensively throughout the year, this wasn't a defensive juggernaut. Everybody wanted Wink's head, right? So the ability to go into Columbus and do what Michigan was able to do, this is why Michigan people understand it. And Notre Dame can do that same thing, except not in Columbus. They can do it at a neutral site.
So was Wink? Go ahead, Daniel.
I think if and it's interesting to see the different mentalities of the coaches, right? Like, just think about Sherrone Moore versus Steve Sarkisian, right? Nobody, like, you won't say Sherrone's a better coach. I'm not debating that. But just in that moment where they get on the goal line and it's 1st and goal.
Oh, my gosh.
I know Sherrone Moore is going to run the ball. He's going at least 3 times between the tackles and get in the end zone, right? The play call in that situation, like, it just shows you the different mentality in coaches about how we're going to get this done. Like you always say, Devin, some guys want to prove that they're right, and some guys just want to win.
Why are we tossing the ball? Why are we tossing the ball?
And you know what's really frustrating is Sarkisian, and I believed this. Maybe I still do. I don't know for sure, because that was excuse me. We basically fired our coordinator because couldn't get in the end zone from the 7-yard line with multiple tries. He is supposed to be this offensive wizard. And not just by me saying that. I'm sure, Sam, you believe it to some extent. And everybody in football believes. Man, Steve Sarkisian is a football offensive mind, if nothing else. Maybe, organizationally, or, time management, whatever the case may be. As far as football and offense, he is a wizard. And you can't get – come on, man. Come on, man. You got a toss? Come on, man.
Yeah, bro.
They ran that down so quick.
Yeah, they did.
They defensive team speed is impeccable. And it's like, did you not see that on film? Or
come on, man. We gonna get outside. We ain't tossing it.
No.
Like, hey, man, we getting outside right now. Right now.
It's not like they don't have the players to do all kinds of things. They have a really good team, really good players, dynamic. And all you got for this game that's, on the line, it's gonna be nip and tuck. Is a toss. Come on, man.
Oh, man, they lost 7 yards on the play, man.
Come on, son.
Oh, my God.
Come on, son.
Hey, what did Michigan run? Michigan ran G lead for the touchdown, man. Let's
something
like that.
Something. And they running backs are nice. I like that. I like what's it, Wisner and the other kid?
Jay Blue.
Oh my gosh. What are you doing? Speed option. So put Archie Manning in. No one can crucify you for that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
4 straight plays and run Q power every time with an extra blocker.
Come on.
I guarantee he gets in the end zone.
Q power, G lead, something.
Jump pass. Try jump pass. Right, Tim Tebow. Q power and then jump pass it over the top. Touchdown. Something.
And they had just ran. I mean, I was thinking the same thing.
Double reverse. Try double reverse.
Come on, man.
Toss.
I digress. So you mentioned Wink Martindale. And I got to get your take on Wink before, because I know you got to get out early, Devin. So Wink had it was like a mid-season epiphany. He had to learn to coach college dudes.
Yeah.
It's not like
learn who his college dudes were.
Yeah, it's not like his stuff changed. His approach changed. So, you come in and you real blunt with these guys. What was he say? I'm the OG, right?
I'm the originator of this slide. Yeah, and if I tell you different, they tell you they're wrong.
I started this, what's the line?
I started this barbecue business.
Yeah, I can't say all the lies. I started this, and this the thanks I get. That's the line. I can't say all the words, but
of course,
that's essentially what Wink was saying when he walked in the door.
We're a family network. We can't say those words.
And this is the thanks I get. Like, come on, man. Who y'all up here talking about these cats? I started all of this.
Right.
But it's different when you talk to college guys. You can ride a pro guy and it's cool. I mean, you got to show some respect. But if you get on a pro guy, and you getting on a pro guy for something he actually did, they pros. That's how it go. And you cut them. That's how it go. College guy, you get on him. It's okay, but then you got to pat him on the butt the next day.
And Sam, also, let me just say this. If it's the team the year before, you can get on them like a pro guy because it's really all pros on that team.
True.
Right? All those guys were older, proven pro guys, making money, knowing they're going to go be pros the next year. And so you can still do that. But this team that we just had, obviously, few pros, and you know who those guys are. However, most of those guys are unproven guys that never played. And then you're down one from the start, right? With our talented safety is one of my favorite players, right? So you got to figure out, like you're talking about, how to deal with the emotional stability or instability in some cases of college football players, and in my opinion, kind of kids, essentially.
Right. And
18 to 22-year-olds.
And they don't know you. And they don't know you. And then another thing I remember.
And he ain't the most personable guy in the world.
Right. Well, but one thing that Will said during the spring, and I think I said this on one other show, he said during the spring, he said, hey, man, hey, dog, he gotta explain to these dudes. You can't just be like, run this and expect them to run
as I say.
Yeah. You got to tell them like every step. Like these dudes they don't know football like that. Not that they not smart, but they don't know football like a pro know football.
Yeah, you gotta think about it. When you come from high school defense is cover 3, cover 2, cover 1. And if you're really good, they just cover 1 all the time. There are so many things, and it's offense as well. Right. And this is why for quarterbacks, young quarterbacks coming in, it's like, dude, they've been playing in a high school offense. They don't care. All the stuff that goes into offense, people don't know. You think you just go out there and play. It's so much. It takes you forever to learn the formations, right? Let alone the how and the why of the plays. You got to learn the formations, right? And so on defense, it's the same thing with motions and all the different crazy things that people are doing on offense. Coming from high school or not having had real reps in the fire after coming from high school, right? Whether you're a sophomore, junior, whatever, if you haven't been in the fire, you're just coming from high school as far as I'm concerned. And expecting them to just get it, it's just not going to happen, right? They know cover 3, cover 1, and they've been the best player on their team, in their city, in their state for so long. They don't need to know all the small intricacies of what this defense is trying to do. Let me line up. And they can't do that, right? And so you got to kind of understand that. And I think it took them a little time.
It sure did.
Hey, Sam, them kids with 18 to 22-year-olds, man, trying to get them to perform consistently at 12 noon on the Saturday is a challenge in itself.
Yeah.
So, like, that's how you see guys blowing coverages, or you see guys, even in basketball, you see guys like, man, how do you play like that? Hey, man, it's 12 noon on the Saturday. Most of the times, you don't know what you're going to get from an 18-year-old.
The word you used was consistently, because I see it all the time. Sam, I work with the young kids. It's like, man, you see these flashes of greatness of like, man, you got it. And then either 1 hour later, 1 day later, 1 minute later, they did the same thing you're doing. That's like they never did it before. It's like, what's wrong with you? But that frontal lobe don't develop till you're 25. They're stupid. Inherently, they're stupid. They can't help themselves, right? So you got to keep reiterating all the things that you need them to know, because they don't got it ever.
You got to walk through with baby steps.
Great point. That is a great point, Devin.
That frontal lobe, man.
It's a great point, because there was a couple of calls in particular that they were running in practice that they were thinking they had. Like, they were running them in practice a ton.
Hey, word to the wise. If you're going to be a college coach, never think they have it.
Right. They're running them in practice, think they have it, and they get in the game. And like, man, what? How we busting this?
Yeah.
How did we bust this? We thought we had this in practice.
Yeah, like, first rule in the coaches meeting when I started coaching college basketball: never assume they know anything. First thing the coach said to them: you can't assume they know anything, because that's what ended up happening to you. That's
like if you run,
it's gonna make a what out of you and me. It's gonna make a what out of you and me if you assume.
If you ran it, if you repped it like 3 or 4 times,
not
and
enough.
they got it 3 times, but busted it once.
You got to do it 7 more times.
3 times they got it, or
no, 7 more times. You got to do it 7 more times. Yep. And you got to see if they get it to 7 straight, then we can roll with it.
Yep. And so that was one of the things that he got. Like, hey man, if you can't rep it 7 times, anything that you can't rep a ton with college guys, then you can't do it. So that was kind of that's why, we were talking about, do you scale back? Because anything you can't rep a lot, you can't really do. And so this was part of the metamorphosis. How do you get on guys? You can get on them like pros, but you got to be able to come back the next day.
Got to massage them. Got to massage them. Got to help them believe in themselves again, because now they feel like they're nothing. The kids are so dramatic. They're so dramatic. If I tell you that was a bad play, you heard you're a bad player. Yeah. And it's like, what? I just said you made a mistake. I didn't say you were a bad player. So now you got to massage that relationship. You got to, hey man, you are capable. And I know that from experience. I was that guy, right? Where I wasn't super emotional, but I had some of that in the back of my mind, like, wait, am I a bad player because of that? And luckily I had Trevor Moan, who was a mind guy, and we would watch out, like, look what you're capable of, right? Oh, reminder, I am very good. I can do these things, right? But when you just hearing an old dude who's told you how he was the originator of this slide, right? And if anybody tell you any different, they tell you they're wrong. When you hear that from a veteran coach like that, you're like, man, I must suck, right? In the visceral way that it's delivered. And Daniel, you know about this.
Yeah.
Athletes and sport, like coach, they talk to you crazy, right? So you would think they hate you, right? Coach Rod is a perfect example. Rich Rodriguez, I thought for sure I was going to be a starter as a freshman because I swear he hated Denard's guts. I swear he hated him. I'm just telling you, he used to lose his mind, but it's not that. It's just that competitive fire and the fact that he's trying to get the best out of him and prepare him for what's to come, which is one of the hardest things on the planet, right? And so, I think Wink has got it figured out now.
Yeah, so halfway through the season, he got it. You made the point. Okay, you realize what you have on your team now. Hey man, you don't have to the lot of pressures you like to do or some pressures you like to do. Hey man, you can just unleash your front four and play and do things with your coverage on the back end. You could play that way and win that way. Now you understand your coaches. You know what you have with your coaches. That mix started to work about halfway through the season. They're playing lights out football defensively. Sherrone, they would lean on that, win some games.
Getting guys in the right spots.
Right. Playing guys in the right spots. And that came mostly out of necessity due to injury. Yeah. So now I think his perspective kind of changes. And I think if he looked at it as a pit stop initially, I think he looks at it now like, hey, man, this ain't that bad a setup.
It's actually it's actually pretty easy. If I can do it with them, imagine what I can do when we really get the good players.
Right. So, okay, I could coach these dudes. I know how to coach college guys. I know the game. It ain't different. I just had to learn how to coach these dudes. My salary go up to $2.7, so I could actually do this. Now you got teams interested in the NFL. So here becomes the question before you go, Devin. You got Cincinnati, you got the Colts, you got Atlanta, the teams that I know off the top of my head, all interviewing him. All right. So it's one thing for any of them to offer him a job. So do you think any of them are going to offer a job? You got other coordinators that are they're going to go after as well. And then who among them are going to offer him the same or more money? That's the other factor. I think in order to get him, one of those NFL teams is really going to have to offer him a good amount more, like $3.5 million. Like you're going to have to go in the $3+ million range to get him to leave now. I don't think you just come and say, hey, here's a job, Wink, come to the NFL. I think now, based on his experience and how he's like, okay, I'm sweet. He's not really. They're not asking him to recruit. They're not. Listen to what I'm saying.
He don't got to do the day-to-day things that a normal coordinator would have to do because
he wasn't on the road. Wink wasn't on the road recruiting in January. The other coaches on Wink was in Florida.
Nor should he have been. Nobody want Wink in their house.
Right. Wink was in Florida. So I mean, they got the setup is sweet.
Yeah.
Setup is sweet. So my question to you is, while everyone else is saying it's a foregone conclusion, I'm not saying it's not like a real threat. Like he could go to the NFL, legit strong possibility he goes to the NFL. I'm just saying it's not a foregone conclusion. what's your thought on the likelihood of him going to the NFL? What do you think of that possibility?
I think it's like a 97% chance that he stays at Michigan. And here's why, because I'm thinking about it if I'm Wink Martindale. If I'm Wink Martindale, right, and there are no teams who are proving good defensive teams who are vying for a defensive coordinator at this very moment, right? Now, maybe it would be the Lions if Anthony, not Glenn, if Glenn leaves, right? Maybe. But I just feel like at the college ranks, right, he's already proven who he is as a coordinator at the NFL level, right? He's a good coordinator, not going to be all-timer, I don't think, but very good coordinator. He has a nice tree of guys as well. But at Michigan, you've kind of got, in not just Michigan, in general, in college, you've had this security, I think, right? This security, because if you go take a job at the next level, if that head coach gets fired at some point, right, how secure is his job? That means you get fired as well, right? Whereas at Michigan, right, firstly, you got it figured out, in my opinion. I think he's gotten it figured out. You're only going to continue to get good players. I think that you have a sense of security where you can continue to get more money and you'll be able to make the money you want to make, and have a chance to continue to prove that you are the originator of what the defense is trying to do. And he just doesn't seem like, after talking to him when I had their game, he doesn't seem like the guy that wants to put the cake in the oven, right? Watch it cook all day, deal with, messing up, the cake falling, got to do it over, put it in the oven. And then when the cake is done, right, it's beautiful, it's nice, putting frosting on it, and then you let somebody else eat it. He don't seem like that guy, right? And then what I think he's done is put that cake in the oven. He watched it fall, right? He watched it not be able to rise because he didn't put enough, I don't know, I'm not a cooker, but probably like enough baking soda or whatever you got to do to make it rise, right? I don't think he's the guy that's going to do all that and then say, you know what, for a couple extra dollars and not as much security, I'm going to go to the next level where I've already had success. I've already done it. I don't really have anything to prove per se, right? But I do kind of have something I can prove at the college ranks. If I'm him, right, I just think it's much more attractive at the University of Michigan or in college in general.
I got you. I know you got to get out of here, DG.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. All right.
Some things around for y'all. Y'all, not you two, but there. My check is on this side. It ain't really for you two, but it's for these.
Hey, just so you know, we were killing you before you came on about that.
Hey.
I could hear it when I came on, man. What y'all was killing you about?
Drew Allar. You was up at that Drew Allar take.
If you think you was killing me, imagine how I was killing me while I was watching. I said, I can't believe you let this big. I can't believe you let him trick you.
Man. I was like, never again will I come with those soft takes. I'm on first guess it like DG. I'm gonna be on the damn table from now on.
But ho, I see something in the chat. Israel. Sidebar, Devin Gardner is a QB genius because he nailed Justin Herbert. I told y'all he was a bum. I told you. But let him keep confusing y'all. And this is why I'm confused how I let Drew Allar confuse me. Because that's the same thing. How can I allow that? How can I allow it? I'm disappointed in me. And y'all can't say nothing to me because I'm disappointed in me.
All right. So, Daniel, what do you think? Wink Martindale.
I think, like I said, he finished the year strong. And seems like most Michigan coaches, especially Jim Harbaugh over the last few years, when you do well at Michigan, as a player or coach, you're going to have pro opportunities, right? I think he's experiencing that now, even though he has experience previously. But I think the way he finished the year has made him attractive to some NFL teams. But if I'm him, I don't leave unless it's a team that I can go and compete for a Super Bowl, right? If it's a team I look at like, hey, we have a franchise quarterback, we have the pieces in place so I can go, and we have a good chance of competing for a Super Bowl, you can't argue with him, right? No matter how much money he's making at Michigan. But if it's to go be the Falcons, DC, or
you don't know what they are yet. Colts. You don't even know if they got security as the head coach. You don't know.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
See, I think,
I love Michael Penix, by the way. I think that they do have their franchise quarterback and they will be fine. However, you don't know.
See, the Falcons are intriguing. See, I think you could convince those two teams, the Falcons and the Colts, with modest improvements, could win their division. I mean, they're a couple games back because those divisions are winnable. Those divisions are winnable.
Falcons not winning this division.
Okay.
It's gonna be the Bucs and the Saints like it always is.
No, I can't say that for certain. The way Michael Penix is, like he ready, man. Michael Penix is ready, man. Studying
you right, Sam. I'm just messing with you. I just hate the Falcons.
I was about to say, I don't know, man. Them Saints are garbage, firstly.
No. I'm just talking about from a historical perspective, right? Like the Falcons, I hate the Falcons.
The Falcons have the ingredients that they can get quarterback play. I mean, Kirk Cousins fell off the map.
Man, that was tough. If they put Michael Penix in sooner, I think they got a real shot.
Yeah, he just, you got to see how quickly he can grow on the job, and can you get some decent defense? And if you Wink, you believe you can go in there and make some things happen, right? But will they pay? This is what happened. What happened at Michigan is, all right, man, I could be here and I could be sweet
forever.
Like, man, I could camp out here. So if you want me to leave, then you're right, fellas. I want to go into a situation where I'm not going into a giant situation no more. I'm not doing like that. No situations like that. Number one. So it's got to be a situation where I think I got a chance to win. And then number two, you got to pay me.
Yeah.
Now you got to pay me because I'm getting 2.7 here. So I'm not leaving.
I need Dean's List. I need 3.5.
Yeah.
I need to make sure I'm well into that honor roll.
Yeah, nah, y'all ain't about to pay me 2.7 to leave.
Is Dean's List 3.5? Did I make that up?
So yeah, so it's got to be in the threes. Y'all got to
say Daniel. You say I ain't in that middle of the Dean List.
You got to be paying me in the threes for us to talk. It's
Daniel.
The conversation.
Hey Daniel.
Conversation. So
Sam, no. I wasn't always that smart guy. I went to UD, and it was rough there. So let's be clear. I wasn't always on the Dean's List. Let's be clear.
So here's the deal. I think that rules the Colts out right there. The Colts don't pay like that, man. Colts don't pay like that. They say the Bengals don't pay like that. I mean, maybe they will now because you can't waste. You can't waste what you got now. But they also, you look at what it seems like they're squandering opportunities.
The Colts can't be an option. They don't have a quarterback.
The Bengals are intriguing.
Even if they were going to pay him, they don't have a quarterback.
I think the Bengals are more intriguing than the Falcons.
100%.
I don't know. I don't know how in NFL circles how they are against Colts, but like him going playing against the Ravens twice a year might do something for him emotionally, right? With his history, but at the same time, it's the pros, right? If that Bengals team can bring in a DC and figure out the defensive side of the football, they become a scary proposition for a lot of teams too.
I can see that, but the only reason I would say no to the Bengals, like they have the things like we talked about, a franchise quarterback. If you fix the defense, you imagine that they will be 7+ more wins, right? 5 maybe. I don't know, because if you don't fix it, I think you're fired the next year because I don't think Zach Taylor's leash is that long.
Yeah.
So now you're looking for work again when you could have been at Michigan Sweet, competing for a Big Ten national championship, getting the playoff, making $3 million, whatever the case may be. So I think that the Bengals rule themselves out. Colts don't have a chance. I think the only real option for me is the Falcons, just because of Michael Penix and what he proved he was capable of later in the year. I think that he's not a guy that regresses. What we've seen from Michael Penix from the very beginning, if not for injuries, he probably would be 5 years in the league right now, balling anyway. He has continued to improve, and the way he plays is conducive to success at that level, right? He plays with his feet and his eyes, and then he only uses his legs as far as moving around and making plays when he has to, and he's capable of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the Falcons will give Raheem Morris though.
Yeah, I mean, these are great points though, because this seems like it's make or break for Zach Taylor, man.
Oh yeah,
Zach Taylor,
especially this year after this year, because your quarterback pretty much did everything he could, and y'all still ain't sniffed the playoffs or championship and whatever. So I don't think because nobody's gonna blame Joe Burrow, right? And the fact that you can't figure this out for Joe Burrow as an offensive coach, that's a problem. Yeah,
and this is they put the tag. Didn't they put the tag on T. Higgins? So this is a contract year for T. Higgins, ain't it?
And T. Higgins said that he's comfortable taking less money to stay with Cincinnati too, though.
And
which I don't like.
But Jamar Chase is
that bank is broken. It's already broken. They better pay him right this second because it ain't doing nothing going up. The way he played, they couldn't do nothing with that boy. He is a monster. Oh my goodness, he's so good. They better pay him right this. Like they need to pay him yesterday and whatever he asks for, just give it to him because it's only going up.
Yeah, so
we grow athletes like that on the West Bank of Louisiana, by the way.
So
West Bank of New Orleans, you feel me?
What's crazy is, man, Michigan almost had it. Anyway, I digress.
We almost always.
Hey, man, I think I pulled up the interview I had with Jamar.
I'm still mad at you for telling me that I got Sammy Watkins to come, but then he didn't.
Yeah, you did. He was committed. Man. They fired Rich Rod.
And I took that money they gave for him and I used it on myself.
Hey, I had Patrick Beverly locked up and he didn't come. Michigan got so many misses in football and basketball that the fans don't even know about.
Hey, man. Hey, my man. Hey, T. Hey. T. Green wasn't going to let that happen. Hey, he wasn't letting that happen. Hey, because man.
Hey, my man said Fayetteville, Arkansas reminded him of Chicago, Illinois when he committed. I was like, that's all I needed to hear.
Hey, man, he's like, nah. Say T. Green wasn't getting no assistance. I should tell. It's all kind of stories. All kind of stories. Yeah, Pat Bev was close to coming to. He was close to coming to Michigan. But I digress. Getting back to Wink, that's a consideration with some of these jobs. I mean, if you go to the Bengals, first, will the Bengals pay? They've been said to be notoriously cheap. Will they go into that $3.5 million range? Will they reach that threshold? Desperation might make them do it. Might make them go past that bar. I don't know. And if they're willing to, if you're Wink, are you willing to do that? Understanding that it might be a 1-year endeavor.
The only place that I'm even thinking about is the Falcons.
Not at 60.
And that's the 3% as far as I'm concerned. I'm thinking about it 3%. I got to know everything. You actually have to sign me up for a few years just to make sure that I have my security because at Michigan he has security, especially the way he finished the season.
Yeah. The Falcons makes
I'm not moving for 1 year.
You got the young talent all around. If you can work that defense, man, you can be in the playoffs next year. The Bucks, you can catch them. You're close. It's the closest that you're in the South, which is where I think he would love to be. You're close to his home in Florida. I think it makes a ton of sense for all of those reasons. And I think they play Arthur Blank will pay.
Arthur Blank gonna pay.
Yeah, Arthur Blank
want him one of them bowls.
Yeah, he's gonna pay. I think the Falcons would be the biggest threat for all of those reasons. Now, will it actually materialize that way? Time will tell. I think Michigan has a shot. Sherrone is obviously working to keep him. I don't see any way that this doesn't work out where if he stays, he obviously gets extended. He winds up as the highest paid assistant. If he's not still the highest paid assistant, he'll be the highest paid assistant in college football again. And all is well with the world. Now, if he leaves, I think that you see some names. I talked about one of the names, for instance, that would be obvious would be Doug Mallory. Doug Mallory, former Michigan analyst, and he was the guy working all of the he was a Michigan analyst from 21 to 23, and he was the guy doing all the coverage variations in the back end, and he was the guy doing basically so if Michigan is crafting defensive strategies for the opposition, he's the guy going to Jesse poking holes in the defense, like, okay, this is how I'd attack. This is okay, what if I do this? What if I do that? He's the guy coming at it, poking holes in it. And then, of course, he is also doing the coverage variations, like, for instance, in the national championship game where they were talking about having 30 coverage variations on the back end. That was Doug Mallory. That was responsible for I mean, I don't know what percentage they made it. The way it was described to me, he might have been responsible for all of them. So he's the secondary coach for the Ravens now. Be very easy to go tab him and slide him in.
Hold on now, Sam. The Ravens play on Sunday. We're going to see that secondary play well against Josh Allen.
Well, hey, bro.
No, man, we got to see it play well. I don't want to hear
Whoa. What do you mean? Josh Allen might be the best. He's one of like the 3 best quarterbacks on the planet, probably. If you don't do well against Josh Allen, I mean, I'm not going to say that makes you a bad coordinator.
Not if that's the last thing you did before you came here.
Bro.
You're only as good as your last game. I want to hear it.
Okay, bro. Man, them dudes, all I know is them dudes, they were going against defenses or going against receivers and quarterbacks, and they was like, man, we don't know what we were seeing coverages we never seen before. We were seeing looks we never seen before. They were like, what are they doing? What are they doing on the back end?
I'm not saying that he won't. I'm just saying let's wait and see. I think that the Ravens win. I think they win pretty comfortably, actually. I think Josh Allen turns into the old Josh Allen that gives the ball away.
Yeah. So I think that what a Doug Mallory hire would signal, one of the things it would signal is maybe that being a pathway to one of the current guys on defense being elevated to a co-coordinator. I think that's one of the things that would maybe signal. I'm not saying definitely, but I think that's one of the things it could potentially signal, because I think Doug Mallory has been, in his coordinator stints, he's been a co-coordinator. He hasn't been a full defensive coordinator in his stops. So I think that would allow, I think, maybe Sherrone to promote one of those guys that's here, both of whom have been coordinators. Like Lamar has been a coordinator. Brian Jean-Marie has been a coordinator. Maybe you can promote one of those guys, because here's the other thing you got to look out for. So now, and Lou has been a coordinator, because this now you got to understand how the game is played. See, this when you start getting into the chess match, because when coaches leave, now you got to start worrying about them taking your coaches, right? So you got to start, moving guys around your chessboard to protect your players, right? So you better start talking about who you gonna promote, who you gonna protect.
Man, Wink ain't going, man. Let's go. Moving on.
But I'm playing the game, man. I'm playing the game. That's how you got to think.
Telling you, I'm a smart person, right? And that's why I put I put myself in Wink's shoes, and so I think Wink is fairly smart, right? So he don't think kind of like how I'm thinking. You know what I mean? You can be like, nah, no thanks. I'll just stay here, Miss.
Yeah, man.
Highest paid coordinator in all the sport.
Yeah. So at any rate, man, I think that the odds of keeping Wink are higher than a lot of people are giving credit for, and I think it's because of how things wound up. I think a year ago, or I guess less than a year ago when they got him, I think when he took the job, it was a pit stop. But as it unfolded and how things went, I think he's like, hey, man, all right.
Yeah, especially since guys that come from the league, the one thing they hate, just like an announcer that comes from announcing NFL games to college, the double numbers. It's like, man, I can't do this, man. Right? For coaches and different things like that, it's like, I'm not trying to be recruiting, begging kids to come play for me. Well, he don't have to do that, right? Like you said, he doesn't have to do that. And so the one thing that I think that would deter him from keeping the job is gone. That's eliminated, right? And good for him. So he gets to stay and do his thing and not have to be – he's basically an NFL coach that just has to deal with college guys, and he's learned how to do that by trial and error this past year.
Yep. So at any rate, we'll be interested to see how it goes. We'll be getting into more names. I don't think that it'll be just a one-name list if we were to go. I think you build a list, you do your due diligence if you're Sherrone, but I definitely think that would be a high name on the list, and then you look internally as well and go from there. Before we move on, though, I do want to highlight our friends over at Golden Limo, who get you to your destination on time.
Every time.
If you have ground transportation needs, you need to look no further than Golden Limo. whether that's airport transport, game day transport, executive transport, whether that's individual or large groups, they have you covered. So when I need to get to the airport, one thing I love about them, man, you tell them you need a 7 o'clock transport. They're 6:45, 15 minutes early every time. You will not touch your bags. When I tell you, it is service to the nth degree. They have you covered. And what did Devin say? He talks about my San Pellegrino. You know, you get in the car or
You be on that San Pellegrino, boy.
the luxury SUV, you hop in there.
No, Sam, quit lying.
And,
you be getting the party bus by yourself. I know what you be doing.
And the water, the chilled water is there waiting for you. And the skilled driver who knows the route that is going to get you to your destination on time, the safe driver that's going to get you to your destination safely on time every time is guaranteed through Golden Limo. And so again, your luxury SUVs, the Aviators, the Navigators, if you need large groups, from your Sprinters to your party buses, to the teams like you see Michigan football team, Michigan basketball team, they're a lot riding the luxury motor coaches. Any level of transport, any size group or transportation you need, Golden Limo has you covered. Ben, drop that track.
If you have ground transportation needs, get to your destination on time, every time with Golden Limo. Ride like the Wolverines. Feel like a Wolverine when you ride with Golden Limo, the proud transportation partner for many of Michigan's sports teams and the primary transportation provider for Michigan Wolverines football. All you have to do to book your golden ticket reservation is go to goldenlimo.com/golden ticket or call their team at 734-668-8282 and mention Golden Ticket to book your transportation reservations today.
Yeah, y'all can mention Golden Ticket if you want. I mentioned Two-Strap Sam, and I got my RSVP, and I get to bring a guest. I'm telling you, I'm good to go.
What Devin is talking about is that Golden Ticket party that is coming up on the 30th. That those of you who booked your Golden Limo transport using the Golden Ticket in the fall, some of you lucky patrons were selected to attend that party. So Devin will be there, Al Borges will be there. I know Zeke Berry will be there. Samaj Morgan will be there.
But did you use code Two-Strap Sam? Because that's how I got in, is what I'm saying.
That's not a real code, but at any rate, it is going to be a special event. And we're actually going to be doing a special presentation, recapping the season, doing a live film session with Al and Devin. And we're actually going to do, one of the things we're going to do with Al is we're going to do a breakdown of Chip Lindsey's offense. And we're actually going to bring it to you guys on Droppin Dimes after the fact. So those of you who can attend because you didn't book your Golden Limo transport using the Golden Ticket, we're actually going to present it to you after the fact. So don't worry, but you should still book your transport using Golden Limo. You could do it anywhere in the country through their Golden Limo partners. So you don't have to be in Southeast Michigan to book your Golden Limo transport using the Golden Ticket. You can do it anywhere in the country. You can do it anywhere across the globe. Because I booked my Golden Limo transport in Rome and Paris. That's how far and wide they reach. So you can do the same. GoldenLimo.com/golden ticket.
Sam, I know I was all hyped about the party and I used my code and I got in real seamlessly and all that, but I think I'm gonna give my ticket away because I forgot Borges was gonna be there. I'm not coming. And the episode where you plan on replaying anything that he's done, I'm not coming that day. Or I just come afterward. I don't know how it's gonna work. We can work out those logistics later, but I'm not coming anymore. I'm not coming.
I need to get you guys' take on a couple of things before we get out. We already talked Notre Dame, Ohio State. What about these matchups, these playoff matchups in the National Football League? Lions, Commanders. You got these Commanders fans thinking that Jaden Daniels is going to come in to Ford Field behind me. think they're going to come into Ford Field and serve my Lions some act right? What do you guys think? Is he going to come in and tame the Lions, or are the Lions going to come in and eat that young fella up?
Sam, it pains me to say this. I think that the Commanders get the Lions, my Lions, our Lions. I just think it's. I know I like my eye getting a little watery. If you can see, you can see right there. It just feels. It really feels to me like there are too many distractions. Right, Glenn interviewing. Ben Johnson, so many suitors, like it's on every show. You can't avoid it. Not to mention the defense is depleted. Not to mention Dan Campbell, as much as I love the way he coaches is reckless a lot of times. And I think when you put all of that in a pot, it's the perfect recipe for a letdown. Detroit is going to be a I actually might go to the game. That it's on Fox, so it's on Fox. So I'm gonna just finagle my way in there. However, I think that it's like the perfect recipe for a letdown, and I don't think they're gonna just like it's not gonna be something where they don't play well. I think they're gonna play well, but I think this young kid is on one of those heaters, right? LeBron, Game 6, right? Celtics, where he's just playing outside himself, and I think he is a really good player. But I think that his poise in those crunch time moments has been exceptional, and it pains. I say I got a tear. You see it?
DG,
I don't want this to happen, but I think the Commanders might get the Lions, man.
This young lady you've been hanging out with, she from DC, man.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna tell you this right now. She actually cheered for the Lions. She's gonna be there working with the cheerleading team.
She been giving me some good quality.
She used to cheer for the Lions. She's gonna be there working with the Lions cheer team. I don't want to say this, but I have to tell you the truth. Look at my eye.
She got you. You sound soft right now. You sound real supple right now. Real supple.
I want the Lions to host the NFC Championship because guess what? It's
Lions
on Fox, and then guess who gets to go? Me.
DG. Double digit win.
I sure hope
Great
so.
Lions.
I hope so. I'm with you, Sam. We're on the same team. I'm with you. I hope that's the case.
Hey, man, you done gone supple on me, man. You embrace it. You embracing the suppleness.
I'm supple because I can see the writing on the wall.
I can't believe it.
First of all, I didn't know DG had a girlfriend.
Dinar, hold on. I'm being attacked on air, and they talking crazy to me, so you know I got to get busy. Because Sam then lost his mind. I'm going to call you back. What did you say, Sam?
I can't believe it. This dude,
I'm telling the truth, man.
Dude that used to be doing these workout tapes. You're going to be doing yoga now, huh, DG?
Hold on, man. We not gonna just blow past the fact that Devin has finally told us he had a woman.
You got some tights, DG. You got some tights, man. You're gonna be doing some plies.
Listen, man. I want to go to the divisional game. I want to go to the game after the divisional game. I want to go to those games. They're gonna be on Fox, but I just do. I think that the pot is brewing, and it's too many things inside. All the distractions, offensively, defensively, all the guys out on defense, right? All the celebrities that are going to be there because everybody want to prove they from Detroit now. All this stuff, I really think that it's going to be a letdown, man, and I'm sad about it. I don't like it. No,
DG. No, brother. See, not distractions. These dudes needed some rest. You didn't see what they did to Minnesota. You didn't see how they just broke the Minnesota Vikings.
Talking about Sam Darnold.
You think this team is distracted after what?
You talking about Sam Darnold? And I think that's another thing in the pot. They may be smelling themselves a little too much after dismantling Sam Darnold. We see what happened the next week. Not in LA. It was in Arizona. You see what happened next week.
They're gonna smack the Commanders, DG.
I hope so. I want that to happen. Because guess who gets to be at the games? I'm trying to tell you, I want that to happen. Crazy. I want to be there. This is historic stuff for Detroit. I want to be there.
Somebody has taken the DG we've known and taking him down, and you've been hanging out with Ryan Day. You just all of a sudden. All
right, Brian, you've been following this show way too long. You're about to get blocked. Why do you know so much? You know too much. Take that comment down. Take it down.
I don't know.
I put some brown in that jug, didn't I, boy? No, she ain't going to the brown jug, man. It's still in there.
Hey, DG got his picture on the wall in the front.
I'm not saying
the bathroom.
He's not going to have a good game. He's going to make some plays. He's too good not to make plays. He gets the scrambling and getting outside the pocket, and they had all those problems with Josh Allen. See, but there are a couple of things that are present now that weren't present to Alex Anzalone. They're healthier along the defensive line.
Very good player.
They have their contingent. They're healthier in the defensive backfield. Sans Carlton Davis, of course, he won't be back. But you got Melon Fonwu back. He's smacking dudes on the back end. You know, Terry and Arnold. You got a healthier defensive backfield, a healthier defensive contingent.
Hey, I got all your former Saints healthy, so y'all should be good.
Yeah, I feel like that this
that's the reason we ain't gonna win all them former Saints.
And then you're forgetting another thing. You're talking about what their offense is gonna do to the Lions. You realize the Washington Commanders cannot. You understand they give up 4.8 yards a carry. Like they cannot stop the run.
And you know, Jahmyr Gibbs, like I talked about, I think it was you, Sam, that kind of looked at me crazy when I said he one of the best backs in the league, top 3 in my opinion. I think it was you that looked at me crazy, and I think that's being proven true.
Well, you helping make my case, and you do understand that Sonic.
No, this is me
Sonic
telling you,
they're reuniting this week.
Nah,
Sonic and Knuckles back together this week.
I don't think that helps. Like I told you, remember I told you when he went down, I'm like, this is a great opportunity. This is one of the best backs in the league. The more touches he gets, the better off the Lions are. And now he's going to have touches taken away. And not saying it is wrong, right? Because this guy has earned his keep, right? Montgomery should have his opportunity. He's a big part of the reason they're where they are. But that's going to take a lot of carries and a lot of touches out of Sonic's hands. And I think that's not good for I was going to say Michigan. I don't think that's good for the Lions.
Man, I
think that he needs to touch the ball the same amount he's been touching it, and you cannot do that with Montgomery coming back.
They're gonna run it down these dudes' throats, and you're gonna see Jahmyr Gibbs still have 150 yards from scrimmage in this game, even with Knuckles back. 150 scrimmage yards for Jahmyr Gibbs. The Lions are gonna score over 35 points in this game, and they're gonna win by double digits. Mark it down. You drew out over there.
Listen, man. I want you to be so right. I just think that Jared Goff's going to play well, but I think Jaden Daniels is going to play really well, and he's proven in crunch time when the game's on the line, losing, tied, up, he's delivered every single time. And the thing is, his youth, I think, helps him when he's playing that way because he don't know what he don't know. He don't know he's not supposed to be doing this. He don't know that. And what he's doing is like all-time stuff, not like rookie stuff. This is all-time, like John Elway, Tom Brady, all the guys. He's doing this amazing stuff much better than they had done it, and it's super impressive to watch. And I'm not talking about Tom Brady rookie. I'm not talking about John Elway young. I'm talking about John Elway when he was John Elway. I'm talking about Tom Brady when he was TB12. Like, this kid is doing some amazing things. It's impressive to watch because I didn't see this coming from him. I definitely didn't see this coming from. I thought he wouldn't be able to finish the season because he's a little frail. He runs around a lot, but he's done an amazing job. He's really looked like Lamar Jackson, but a much better passer, right? As far as when Lamar Jackson was younger, right? He moves around, he runs when he needs to, but he also can pass the ball at an elite level from the pocket, and he makes all those extra plays, kind of like a Patrick Mahomes. It's terrifying. As a Lions fan, it's terrifying. And I do believe that it's too much turmoil, and you know, it's positive because the reason that there is turmoil is because the defense is overachieved with all their injuries, right? So Glenn deserves that credit. And Ben Johnson for 2-3 straight years, he's been amazing. But I think that is a double-edged sword where it's creating distractions, and then you add Dan Campbell's aggressiveness and wanting to always go for it. And you've criticized them, and I've defended them. But I'm telling you, that could rear its ugly head again. And I don't think you can do that against this team that's super hot playing their best football of the season.
Yeah. Well, I hear what you're saying. Experience. This team got close to the promised land. I think it brings about a focus that a team that tastes it and gets so close but doesn't get there. I think it brings a focus that they won't get knocked off of. You call it a distraction. I think they're too sharp to be distracted at this point. My opinion, but we shall see.
I hope so.
Yeah, you got the Eagles and the Rams. How do you see that one going?
Eagles.
Yep.
Eagles. I think the Eagles are the way they run the football. I think is in as much as Jalen Hurts hasn't played great football as far as like from the pocket and different things like that. If you really watch, he's done a great job of managing what they are as an offense, right? He's done a really good job of that. And you got to think about it. He's still got those two dynamic weapons on the outside, right? Two really good football players. And then you add Saquon Barkley to that, plus Jalen Hurts running ability. I think it's going to be much too much for the Rams.
All right. Yeah, I think, you're going across the country. Freezing cold. You're a warm weather team.
You're not a running team. You're more of a passing finesse type of team.
Yeah, man. And this defense can get after it. They can get after it. Matthew Stafford, as good as he is a pocket passer.
He is. He is not moving around.
He's gonna get heated up. He's gonna get nah, brother. It's gonna be a tough road to hoe.
I think Matt Stafford's arm is strong enough to cut through some of that Philly cold and win. But
100%. It's not a thing. It definitely is.
Yeah,
but
it's still not gonna be enough though.
He can't move. He got big shoes on. He wear like lineman cleats, probably.
That's them bad.
He got no plan on moving nowhere.
Hey, that's because he had all them bad ankle injuries playing behind that Detroit offensive line back in the day.
Shut up.
So now he got to wear them big Steph Curry ankle braces.
Nah, he won't be able to make enough plays to win that one. Let's go over to the AFC. Chiefs, Texans. I got to give Houston credit. I guess I'm not surprised that they won, even though I picked the Chargers to win that game.
You ain't know who was playing quarterback for the Chargers.
Okay. Who was playing quarterback for the Texans?
CJ Stroud. He's a good player.
He's a good player, but you realize
at this time he's got significantly more playoff wins than the guy you chose. He's only in second year.
Hey, but CJ Stroud, you look at the season CJ Stroud had, it was not the kind of season people were expecting him to have.
But you also got to look at how CJ Stroud performs in clutch moments all the way back to college. When we beat them, it wasn't because CJ Stroud didn't play well. He threw 400. Right? When they went to Georgia, when they played against Georgia, they didn't lose because they were in the game because of CJ Stroud. So I'm picking him in those moments, and he proved it again.
Yeah, and make no mistake, he stepped up and he outplayed Justin Herbert.
Not even close.
Without question.
And guess who Justin Herbert had as a coach? Any quarterback that plays for Harbaugh will never throw 4 interceptions in the game, except for Jake Rudock that first game. And then he said, "Let me take the keys out of your hands now." Right? The fact that he's able to do that on a Harbaugh coach team tells you he's not who you think he is. Well, who y'all think he is. I know who he is. Y'all think he good.
So Justin Herbert in this game, though, because you actually have some people thinking that the Texans have a chance in this game.
That's crazy. Come on now. It's just the disrespect for the Patrick Mahomes. It's just so weird. Like, how can you continue to do this? And for all y'all who saying that, go bet it. So then I can bet on the Chiefs and change the number. So everybody bet on Houston. They're gonna change the number in Vegas, and then I go bet on the Chiefs, and I'll benefit from your stupidity.
I'm with you. All right. I'm with the.
That's a big line though. 8.5 in the playoffs.
It's Patrick Mahomes in the freezing cold against a warm weather indoor team.
Now those all facts. All facts.
It should be 12.5. And I don't even know betting like that.
Yeah, they're not beating Patrick Mahomes.
Nah, they're not winning. Not winning. But
they got the same chance that Wink got, in my opinion, of going to the Falcons or NFL. 3%.
Hey, Vegas thinks the same thing. If it's an 8.5 point spread in the playoffs, they don't think you really have much
That's
shot.
That's crazy, ain't it? In an NFL game in the playoffs, they got you 8.5.
Yeah, that's a lot.
All right. Bills Ravens in the game of the weekend.
I'm so excited for this game, dog.
It's gonna be an epic clash. The MVP favorites Maybe the I don't know who the MVP is going to be, but whoever wins this game is going to say, "Hey, I told you I was the guy." Right?
Yeah, so I hope their votes aren't in because obviously
is it for the MVP award?
They put all the votes on Josh Allen if the votes are already in, of course.
Oh, okay.
They've been pushing this narrative. At one point in the season, they say he's the clear, unadulterated MVP. And then I went and looked, and it's like, wait, Lamar Jackson is out playing him by a mile. And they talking about, well, his team's doing better. Literally, they're the winning one game, right? 13 and 4 and 14 and 3, something like that. Like, what are y'all talking about? The way that Lamar Jackson has been playing, not as a runner, but from the pocket. It has been a clinic. It's been amazing to watch. I'm so I don't know him, but I'm proud just because he was incapable, it seemed like, of playing from the pocket. And then his self-awareness of understanding, hey, man, I haven't had success in the playoffs because I've been too jacked up. I've been too hyped. I've seen things too fast, and I moved too fast, and I made these mistakes. And then the way he played in this past game, right? They started the game. Remember in the playoffs last year when they lost? It was because they refused to call runs for him, but he refused to run the ball, right? He was trying to prove he's a packet quarterback. The whole first drive of this playoff game, they made it clear that will never happen again. He ran the ball almost every single play effectively, right? So I don't think that's going to be an issue. Now, the one thing you can say, the cold, right? It's going to be freezing cold, and we haven't seen Lamar in freezing cold. We've seen him in the cold. We haven't seen him in -0, icy turf, all that. But, I mean, the Bills got to play in that same weather, right? Yeah. And the ability to run the football for the Ravens, I think, sets them apart.
That's what I'm about to say. Do the Bills have a freight train coming out the backfield?
Not a freight train, but they got a good player. They got a good player, but not a freight train.
But in that cold weather, like you said, cold weather, the element.
Who want to tackle that?
Nobody's tackling.
Ain't nobody trying to tackle 6'4", 265, running that speed that he be running. No, not in the cold. No. And then that ball control, clocks running, all that. Yeah. I just think they're going to make a huge mistake by giving Josh Allen the MVP prematurely, and Lamar Jackson's going to get over the hump, and then he's going to have to see Patrick Mahomes, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do that, but I think that he gets this one done.
The Harbaugh formula for winning games like fits perfectly in bad weather, right? Like when it's snowing or freezing cold, you know, they both want to run the ball, control the clock, play tough defense. That travels, right? So I think that I got the Ravens in that game.
Yeah, man. I just think that you got one of the most unbelievable physical specimens I ever seen. When you watch Derrick Henry get in the open field, other dudes look like they running in place. You see how he just pulls away from. I remember the first time I saw him, it was at the opening. He was, high school senior, going into his high school senior season. And I was like, there's no way this dude is going to be a running back.
Yeah, because he's so big.
Yeah, he's so big. He's going to be a defensive end. Like, there's just no way. And then you watched him run in, like, the speed contest, and he was unbelievable. It was unbelievable to see how fast he was. And he kept that speed. Not only that, he got bigger. He is unreal. And he's 30? He's like 31 now, and still running away from dudes. It's like I still question the Buffalo Bills defense. I said it a couple weeks ago when they gave up 42 points to the Lions. Like,
is that the stats for real?
The difference with the Lions,
that's crazy.
The Lions Lions were giving up all those points, and they don't. They ain't had their.
Sam, allow Daniel to appreciate what he's looking at. Yes, those are the stats, the real stats.
That's crazy. So no, go ahead. So I'll let you finish first. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that the Lions were giving up all those points, and they don't have their defensive guys. Bills got their defensive guys, and they're giving up all those stats. So I just question if Buffalo plays good enough defense to win this game and to be a Super Bowl team. That's why
my question would be, when Lamar wins, what will be the excuse then? Because now Josh Allen is 0-3 in divisional games at home. He now have lost. I mean, he lost to him earlier in the year. I guess we forgot about that. But he's now lost him head-to-head in the playoffs, where that's what everybody said. Josh Allen's just so good in the playoffs. He just, even though it was that one time against Patrick Mahomes where he played amazing, and then Patrick Mahomes came back and beat him, right, in 30 seconds or 18 seconds or whatever. But the whole story is just like, no, Josh Allen can do it. We know he can. Lamar can't, though, even though neither of them have. I wonder what the narrative will be after Lamar wins at his house. I just need to, I can't wait to watch the shows the next day or whatever, whenever. It'll be on Monday. I can't wait to watch the shows.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope Lamar wins the Super Bowl because I would love to hear the conversations about the Mahomes Lamar debate if he wins the Super Bowl and the third MVP, right? Like that's gonna be like and it'll be great to be living in these times, right? Where you got those two, we get to watch those two guys duke it out for the best quarterback in football, right? That if he does that, man, that's an epic feat.
Hey, Keegan Imhoff, he asked, are you gonna watch the shows after the Lions win? I want the Lions to win, goofy. Like I don't let Sam confuse you. I'm just telling you the truth. Is that what you want? Do you want the truth, or do you want me to homer it along like, oh, just because I'm from Detroit, I love the Lions, all this, I'm going to the game, all that? I have to pick them when my heart or my head says, there's some things that I don't think will work out for them. Shut up. I will be watching the shows, and I'll be so happy because guess what? I don't know what you're going to be doing, but the next time they play is going to be on Fox. And
no. Don't cook my man Keegan. Cool people.
He's sensitive right now, Keegan. He's sensitive.
Yeah, I'm a sensitive man.
He's supple right now. He's out. That suppleness is coming out.
I'm a sensitive man. Hey, you can make that shirt. I'm a sensitive man.
I just needed that's irresponsible t-shirt.
Hey, all right. So we got the picks in. Yeah, I think I got the Ravens in that game too. Yeah. Before we get out of here, so Michigan basketball, DG, you got more people saying Danny Wolf, first round draft pick. We won't beat that topic to death anymore, right? They got the Wolverines riding high. They think they're the class of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Even if they win the Big Ten conference, that does not make them. That doesn't make them a national champion. That doesn't make them a team that's going to go all the way. You know, to have the ingredients to be a team that goes on a run. Because John Beilein said something that I can't co-sign. I just think he was playing to the crowd. I was like, come on, John. He said they might be as talented as our best teams. I was like, John, come on, bro. Like now Daniel would be like, Daniel be cussing right now. He heard you say that. Like, come on.
No, man. They look good, man.
No, bro. No.
Not them teams with Trey Burke and Tim Hardaway and Glenn Robinson in third and those guys. They wait. This team here is good. I have to give them credit. Like they've answered a lot of the questions that we had coming into the year, and as they're going on, Danny Wolf has played really good basketball. He's been a really good player. Vlad has been a really good player. They've all answered the questions positively and quite thoroughly, to be honest, the way they've been playing. So they've answered those questions, but to say that they're more talented than those couple of those Final Four teams Beilein had, I wouldn't go that far yet. Now you never know if they continue to, like I said, I don't speak in definitive terms of basketball because guys can grow and change their narrative and change the perception, but I don't think they're as talented as that Trey Burke and Hardaway group.
When you consider that team that went to the championship game,
it had Stauskas as a 6'7" guy.
Yeah, I mean, you had Trey Burke and Tim Hardaway in the backcourt, Glenn Robinson at the 3. I think they moved Mitch into the starting lineup to start the tournament. I'm trying to remember. Mitch into the starting lineup to start the tournament. I mean, you coming off the bench with Karis LeVert.
Right. Another first round pick.
Like, bro, Nick Stauskas on that squad. Nah, hey, bro. Hey, man. No.
Yeah, no. That team was that's one of the most talented teams in Michigan history.
Let's just pump the brakes just a little bit.
Yeah.
And say this is a really, really talented team. But what I'm looking at on that squad is a bench. Aside from that starting group that had Trey Burke, who was a Naismith Player of the Year, one of the best players in the history of the program.
Yes, sir.
Right? He's on the Mount Rushmore. Trey Burke is. You got to look at that bench, which brings me to this question, Daniel. Can Michigan's bench improve enough? Can Michigan's bench be good enough for it to be a title contender? Because I look at the bench right now, and what I see is, as far as consistent contribution, I see their Bill Lambier. I look at it, and I'm looking at Will Cheddar. He gives them the Bill Lambier on a game in, game out basis. He's gonna come in, he's gonna scrap it up. He's gonna give him some boards. He's gonna go over and give him some hard fouls. He's gonna give him some defense. He's gonna hit
a 3 or 2.
He's gonna get a 3 or 2, right? And that's really about it that you can count on consistently right now. Can we expect that they're gonna be able to get more from their bench by the end of this season?
You know why I say yes? Because they have some guys that have played a lot of basketball at the end of the bench, right? Coming off the bench, you got, like you say, you got Cheddar, you got Jones, guys like that that are seniors and they know it's their last. They tend to play better as they see like we say in the locker room, when they see the light at the end of the tunnel come. I mean, it's almost over, right? So I think with seeing what's on the line, I think seeing what they have the opportunity to achieve and accomplish, I think those guys are capable of playing, giving them quality minutes off the bench, especially like you said, Cheddar and Jones. Cheddar better come, not Cheddar, but Jones better come in and defend. If he can come in and defend, make open shots, be a secondary playmaker in the offense and things like that. I think they can do it.
Is this the real Lace? Is this the real Lace in the building?
That's my boy.
Is that the real Lace in the building? Showing
That's
up.
my boy.
Hey, Lace. Hey, man, he done got real soft, bro. He done got real soft.
So this is the thing. You can't say stuff like that to Lace because Lace know me. He know.
Hey, bro, he done got real soft.
If it's anybody on this planet that know I'm not soft, it's the person that's on your screen to the bottom left, where Denard Robinson know for a fact.
He coming here giving soft takes, man. Soft takes.
He know for a fact.
He coming here giving soft takes.
He knows for a fact.
Nah, but Sam, I think they got the ability, man. I think they'll have to give them quality minutes when they come in and be a guy that's going to give you 15 to 17 points off the bench in the championship run, like you see some of these years that have a 6 man that come out of nowhere. They becomes a dominant player like a Nick Stauskas or a Karis LeVert off the bench. I don't know if they have that, but they do have guys that can come in and give them quality minutes. You know what I mean, and keep the train rolling. You know what I mean? But that comes with, I think the fact that Dusty has played a lot of guys up to now will lead to that, right? That's why you play a lot of guys early in the season to continue to develop the guys 8 through 11. That way you might need them at the end of the season. So I think they have the capability to do it. It's just those guys, the talent to do it. They just got to do it.
Yeah. So you do a great. So I'm gonna see if we can get you and Chris to. I know you breaking down film. I was watching it. See if we can get some of that film breakdown on the channel. A guy that I'm really intrigued to see if he can give them some scoring off the bench is Sam Walters. When he started out the season, it seemed like he was an automatic 3 when he was open. And then it got to the point where he couldn't throw it in the ocean, Daniel. I mean, it's like you wanted him, the teams wanted to leave him open. Because it's he's not gonna hit that shot, but
it's mechanics, man.
He had a few go down against Washington.
Yeah,
so
and it's mechanics and rhythm with him because of his mechanics. He has to be a guy that has to be in the gym getting a ton of shots up every day. If he's not because he shoots a kind of a line drive shot. Look like his hand placement is funny. That's why his rotation on his ball is a little funky, right? And his elbow is low, which causes him to shoot line drives. So that's gonna, even though he has great touch, I would imagine as a guy his size, he could probably throw darts really well. He could probably throw because he can shoot. It's just his mechanics prevent him from being consistent. So if he stays in the gym and he catches one of those rhythms, then he'll be a guy to come off the bench. Because right now he's a guy. If he's making shots, you can play him. If he's he's not making shots, then you got to come sit over here, right? So if he can find his rhythm and kind of correct some of, I don't want to say correct his mechanics, because at this stage of the season, at his age, you don't want to start messing with his shot during the season. But if he can kind of find a rhythm, he'll give him quality minutes off the bench.
I wonder what we can expect from Reuben Jones, and part of me is concerned that we won't be able to see what he's fully capable of, because we're doing to him kind of what we did to Namari last year.
Mm.
You out, DG?
Yes, sir.
You out? You
all right? I'm out here on basketball stuff anyway.
Yeah, you being Beckin right now. I know you out, but you being Beckin, you got told to leave.
No, I got something to do. I had something to do, but I pushed back for you. You know what I mean?
Hey. That's that soft stuff, Lace. That's that soft stuff.
Hey, Sam, aka she hungry. It's time to go, man.
She told you to get your ass off the chat.
All right, I'm just gonna hang up on y'all because I'm sick of y'all. I just want to say thank you to Ann Arbor Sports Commission, and I'm sorry that these bums keep on making the show terrible, but I got y'all.
He gonna miss his rooftop dinner appointment in the winter.
Shut up. Shut up. Goodbye.
All right, 2 boxing, Ben. 2 boxing for us. Yeah, so Namari, they played him on the ball out of necessity. Now, again, I think that Reuben is better. I think Reuben is better on the ball than Namari.
Yes. And
yet, I wonder if it takes him more out of his ability as a scorer than he was as a guy when he was at North Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I wonder if it takes more out of his comfort zone as a scorer than he was when he was at North Texas last year. And will that rob him of what he is, of his true ability as a scorer when he's able to play off the ball? But that's what he's got to do. He's their best option.
Yeah, that's his role. Yeah, I'm about to say that's his role with this team. He's gonna have to figure it out. But to your point, it does, like when you used to having the ball in your hands and you come to another team, another system where you don't have the ball as much, it is an adjustment, right? And it's only how many games they play, Sam? 15, 16, 17 games into that adjustment, right? So he's not a pro as far as he's played enough basketball to be able to make this adjustment seamlessly. It's going to be an adjustment for him as well. So I think that's why I say they still have room to grow, because if he can grow in his role and other guys can grow in theirs, then they can be even better than what they've been so far. So no, it's definitely an adjustment when you go from handling the ball and becoming being a primary decision maker like he was at North Texas. So now becoming the guy.
So he was on the ball primarily at North Texas.
Yeah, the film that I watched on him, he handled the ball a lot at North Texas.
He handled the ball a lot. Yeah, all right. Well, that being the case, then, man.
Like he did, he was a lot. He was using the pick and roll quite often. Like the coach at North Texas asked him to do a lot of playmaking as well.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm actually encouraged. Then,
yeah,
I'm actually encouraged. Then I hope that we can see him evolve into more of a scoring threat off the bench. Then,
yeah,
if that's the case,
no, it's in there. His athletic ability, his shooting stroke, his combination of athletic ability and quickness to get by his man, Sam, it's there. It's there. But like one thing about basketball, and especially college basketball, what's the word I'm looking for? Like being in sync with your teammates, being in sync with the game plan. And maybe he was hurt early in the season, like because he was in the starting lineup coming into the season and he got hurt. And he kind of fell out the starting lineup. He's been working his way. He's back healthy and working his way back into the rotation lineup now. But all of that stuff, as a young player, it affects you. And I call him a young player because he's still, even though he's a 450 guy, he's still a college guy, right? All that stuff can still affect your rhythm and your timing and your ability to adjust coming to a new team and new program. And I think it's still less than 20 games in it, right? And the thing about it, in college, he only has 30 games, 35, or whatever the season plays out to be to do it. So I think for these last 15 games and tournament run, I think you'll see a better player the more he gets adjusted to his role. Yeah, and embraces his role too.
Yeah, one of the things he was able to do well at North Texas, he shot the three really well.
Yep.
And here, that hasn't been as pronounced a part of his game. Like, last year, North Texas, he was nearly a 42% three-point shooter.
Mm-hmm.
At Michigan, I mean, he's a 22% three-point shooter. Daniel, I mean, that's a pretty steep decline.
Yeah, very steep. And like I said, he was like, didn't he have an injury coming into the season right after camp, coming out of camp or something like that?
I can't remember if he had an injury coming out of camp. I can't recall. I think he did.
Yeah.
And I know he was injured here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so like being in and out of the training room like that, even if it's just been a couple times as a shooter, all of that stuff can affect your rhythm as a ball player, right? And for him, it's imperative that he finds his rhythm, whether that's putting extra time in on his body so he stays healthy, putting extra shots up before and after practice, whatever it takes, to find that rhythm. Because he's another guy. He just like him and Walters are two guys, and if they find their rhythm, shooting the ball consistently, coming off the bench, that's going to take Michigan's offense and their team to the next level because Jones has been pretty good on defense when he comes in.
Yeah, so, man. Yeah, if he can give them something off the bench offensive, and if he can be that piece,
mm-hmm.
that scoring threat off the bench, I think that's a game changer for them. To me, he's the X factor, Reuben Jones.
Yeah. Size, athleticism, can defend, nice shooting stroke, all of that. Like he can be an X factor or a difference maker coming off the bench.
Yeah, man. That one of the thing that Dusty pointed out more than anything with him coming in is the defensive force that he was.
Yeah.
He said he could obviously guard 1 through 3, but he said in some situations, depending on team you face, he gave you, like, if you were playing a Roddy Gale size 4, he could guard him.
One thing he's done well, I've seen him get a couple tip dunks. Right, he got one earlier, so he got one a couple games ago. If your shot's not going, that's another way you can affect the game offensively. Go crash the offensive boards.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a guy that assert yourself on defense, right? I crashed offensive boards. If I get a tip in, I may not get a tip in. I'm right here to pick up my guy now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I'm going to be the guy that's guarding the ball, which they've used him to dog the ball and pressure the ball a lot, hey, I'm going to go to the glass. If I don't get it, where's the point guard? I'm locking in. I'm right to my pressure, right? So he's a guy that can definitely come in and be a difference maker and a bit of a change of pace guy because might not push the ball as fast as Trey will, but if he gets the ball, he can see some things that Trey maybe can't with his size and length. So they have some options that can, if those guys step up, like I said, they can be even better than what they've been.
Yeah, he's definitely the one because you see he's gone to the young, he's gone to Pippen and to K-Sign at the time. Pippen more than K-Sign of late as the young point guard, but you see their youth.
Yep.
And so clearly Reuben is the backup point guard, but he's really to me, he's the backup everything. He's your backup point guard. He's your scoring threat off the bench.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to be the one when you want to give Trey a blow,
mm-hmm.
and Trey's gonna need a blow.
Yep.
Like you need Reuben Jones to be that guy that you can count on off the bench. But so often, like you can see, hey, he's with Trey. I need you to go back in the game.
Yeah.
I need you to go back.
It's one of those things, Sam. I think with the two rookies, with Pippen and Kaysen, you want to have positive contributions from them when they come in. You want, especially on defense, you want them to get after it because that's where most freshmen kind of have issues with it on defense, whether it's rotations or switching hard, or Michigan does a lot of switching, or just keeping the ball in front, right? You want positive contributions from them, but you don't have to depend on freshmen to carry your bench rotation when they come in. So you're absolutely right. If Jones and Walters and those guys and Cheddar can kind of find a way to not let it not be as much of a drop off when they come in, I think they'll win the Big Ten.
Yeah, that'll be huge. My brother, another one in the books. I got to credit DG. I didn't think he was going to show up after how we were killing him to start the show. Yeah, he deserved to get killed for that. I think he had on. Man, I was kicking myself. I texted Daniel after the game was over. I said, man, I shouldn't have let DG get away with that. I shouldn't have let him get away with that Drew Allar take.
I'm about to say some of the takes we've had on Drew Allar and James Franklin the last couple of years, the last year that didn't come back to now and like pick him to win a big game like that was surprising for me too.
Yeah, man. I will never, ever sit on this show again and have a soft ass take like that. I will never do that again. That DG's. Oh no, he's so much better than Riley Leonard. And I was thinking to myself, I know the hell he's not. No, he's not. I can't.
Riley Leonard did win 9-10 games at Duke last year.
Yeah, man. He might have. He has the sort of look test.
Mm-hmm.
The size, the arm. He's mobile.
Or 8 games or something like that. He won at Duke.
It's all the eyeball.
Yeah.
Not the gamer stuff. Like you get in games, he gonna let you down. That's why some NFL GM is gonna get in the draft. It's like, okay, I like the way that looks, and they're gonna draft him high. Not number one, but they're gonna draft him high, and they're gonna get fooled.
Hey, you know who used to say that about?
Who's that?
I don't want to bag on the kickers actually like him. Joe Milton. In pads, when he show up and you see him 6'5", 240, look like a unit, he gonna throw the ball 75 yards on the knee. And the coach's hard have to be like, hey man, I can do something with that guy.
Yeah. Yep, truer words are never spoken. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for us. As DG said, we want to thank our newest sponsor, the Ann Arbor Sports Commission. Again, so many great events coming to Ann Arbor, courtesy of our friends at the Ann Arbor Sports Commission. We're going to be telling you more about those great events in the weeks to come. And we're going to be telling you, we're going to have one of our great guests that's going to be coming up in, I want to say on the week of the 31st is when we're going to have Megan Hughes on to tell you, she's the director of the Ann Arbor Sports Commission, to tell you about one of their key events coming up in February that we want you to mark on your calendar. So stay tuned for that as we alert you to all of the great events that they have coming to this area that you want to remember, that you want to set your calendars for, and you want to get out to. And so be on the lookout for that. And for more of those details in the weeks to come here on the next edition of Steady Droppin Dimes. We'll see you then.